Okay, howdy folks, welcome back. So here we are, July 26th, 2022. We got the loop rolling here, and you see we've had a CME right here, and there hasn't been much to report these last few days. That's why I was doing the spiritual realm videos and stuff, but we're going to go over the last few days just to show you there is still some, small activity going on. So we'll pause it here when this first emerges. Let's scoot this back down. Okay, here's our first CME. Here's our object or our instrument reacting to it. Nice round curvature and everything. This one's draped in a bunch of plasma, so it's kind of hard to see it. So we're just going to progress through. And I think it's right about there that you can faintly see. Oh, this little dark core right here in the center. Hello, Cindy. Welcome, people that are showing up here. So it's really faint, hidden in the core, right? It's this faint little center right here. So then there is a secondary one right back here behind it. And as this one emerges, you can see the dark core in the center of it a little bit better. And I'm going to pull the magnifying glass out. We'll zoom in on this a little bit more for you so you can see what I'm saying. And you can see how this stuff is going around it right here. It's right here in the core. It has this like little magnetic field or bubble around it where the plasma is stretching out and going around it this way and that way. Okay, so that was not much to see, but it is still activity. Even though, it didn't produce much, there's still these little objects doing whatever they're doing here. So that, let's go ahead and progress through the rest of that one. And you can still see it right here as it exits the screen. And that's the last image right there. So that's the last image right there. So, okay, now let's go back a day. Pull this out of the way a little bit. Okay, so that was the 26th. Let's go to the 25th here. And while this loads up here. So here's another little CME event, just like the one we had today, similar, with a couple of little objects captured in it again. And these aren't huge CMEs, and they're not, I don't think they're earth facing or anything, but they are these little spits and sputters, and you keep capturing these little objects in there. So we'll scoot this down and pause it here in just a second once it starts again. And right about here, let's back it up even a little bit. Okay, well, I'll go all the way back. So here's the very beginning. You can see as it starts to erupt, our instrument's reacting to it. It blossoms and gets bigger. Here's our object right here in the center. And maybe that one might do it justice there. So we'll pull this over, zoom in on it again here real quick for you guys. And you can see there's a round dark core, little shadow here in the middle again. It's draped in a bunch of plasma. There's another channel that had nice forensic filters, and he used to run this through the filters, and you could see these objects a lot clearer. Planet X News, yeah. Hopefully he comes back. I know he's having some family issues, so hopefully he'll return and help kind of clean up some of these images so you guys can see him better. But that was this one. Let's continue as it moves on out of frame there. And it appears it had a secondary one down here. Our instrument's reacting to it. You see it right down there as it moves. There's the last little dark image of it right there as it moves out. Okay, so I'll put this back in the loop for you so you can see it again. And meanwhile, all this stuff's going on. We still got this weird inflow going in here, and different angles. Sometimes it's at the bottom. Now it's over here doing it again. And just one last thing, there was a little flash in there I wanted to point out right there. Here we had these streaks go through there, something crossed through there. You can't see it on the red, it's really faint. So, but on this side you can make out these, something streaked through there during that frame. And if we go next, one more, there's like the negative of it. So you can see the darker image of it or whatever, but something, some objects or some debris or something streaked through there during these events. Okay, so that was the 25th. Now let's back up one more day to the 24th. And we'll catch up to where we left off on the last solar report. While this loads up, there's some weird little activity going on up here. It's hard to capture because these numbers up here in the corner get in the way. But you can see there was a pretty good size halo there on the 24th. Okay, let's see if we can... Just this little thing at the very beginning when it leaves, it looks like a structure, like a little cross right there. And if we could maybe find that frame real quick. I pause on it, but otherwise you see this regular flow and stuff. Something else that happened in here, it's kind of hard to spot, but I'll point it out here in a second. Let me pull this down so I can pause it again. Alright, so first I want to pause on the little cross type thing when it first starts. Alright, let's back it up. I think right about there's good. And then I'm going to zoom into this up here. And it just looks odd, and it holds its shape and size the whole way through. It doesn't seem to expand and blossom out like a regular CME band would. This little cross type looking structure just kind of floats just like this same shape right through these numbers and everything as this progresses. I just wanted to point that little one out for you first. Then we'll go on to what else I was going to point out. Now here, right here, this is the end of that big, huge CME that we had that had all the plasma in it on my last report I did. So that's the tail end of my last report right there. And then as we go through, this little cross structure passes through there. You can see we got some flow and something going on over here. And as it emerges and goes past and out of frame, then another event happens right over here. Let me see if I can find it first. Okay. We have these big, huge bows. Another blast coming off up here. And then this event right here. Let me show you real quick this object because it's nice and defined right here as it emerges. Okay, move that up, move this out of the way. Okay, you can see here's our nice round black object right there ready to start emerging. And as it emerges, it comes out and goes up. Oops, see here, let me unzoom this so you guys can see it. My bad. So we're going to back this up a little bit here. Here's our object right here starting to emerge. As it does, it comes out and then shifts up into another spot and then comes out up here now. Okay, so I'm going to put this back into motion, and you'll see when this object comes out, it pops out and moves up. It's coming right after this big bow right there. And it's pretty quick. It's not really obvious. It's kind of hidden, but this object came out right there and moved up. Let me see if I can get you a little more in on it there. Yeah. So it's not a bunch of big fireworks and stuff like we've seen in the last weeks or so, but it is still these little objects still causing small little CMEs here and there. It seems like maybe it's dying down a little bit. It's not as eventful, multiple in a day, multiple days in a row, but it is still kind of multiple days in a row. Just one and two here, little small ones there and there. So that's about it for my report tonight. I think we covered all 3 days. We'll go back to the 26th right here to our current day, and we'll leave with this one. And shift it up a little bit while it loads up. And they all seem to be, coming out of this area. This one right here today. There's one there and a secondary following it. Let it go again. And then similar activity on the 25th, and we just saw the 24th. So that's it for tonight, folks. I love you all. I miss you all. Thank you all for being here. God bless you all. And until my next video, bye.